defend that belt. There will be no outside interference. There will be no guitars, because it will be in the biggest and highest steel cage in the history of this business. Yeah!
Tonight, a match against Chris Harris. And what an opportunity it's going to be for the winner, because the winner faces Jeff Jarrett for the NWA World's Heavyweight title in a steel cage.
Chris Harris's fate is sealed. You see, destiny is something you fulfill. Fate is something you endure. I will fulfill my destiny and become NWA World Heavyweight Champion. He will endure his fate, and that is to go slinking back to the tag team division. Chris Harris is good, but he's not great.
This path that I'm on, this road that I'm on, I believe that this is exactly where I need to be. So I believe that I'm going to make it through you, Raven. You've talked for so long about this being the road, being your destiny. Well, understand something, Raven. Your destiny just met a 6'4", 240-pound roadblock. I will take you out on my way to being here.
You saw what I did to Ron Killings, Abyss, and AJ Styles. You saw how I maneuvered myself in position to take advantage of the situation that Vince Russo set up. That's what I'm going to do once again.
My road to the cage belongs in this ring, in this cage, with Jeff Jarrett. And I have to go through you to get there.
Do you know what a scary, demented individual I am? I hope you do, Chris Harris. And I hope you bring your A game. Because if you bring it, you may just survive. If you don't, I can promise you, I will put you out of wrestling if I have to, just to get to Jeff Jarrett.
So guys, get ready. I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be there.
I think you hear me knocking, and I think I'm coming in. Quote the Raven, nevermore.
Well, Raven, this may be the only opportunity that I get, and I'm not letting it pass me by.
Of winning the final four-way back on March the 31st when he defeated Ron the Truth Killings, Abyss, and AJ Styles. He took a step closer to fulfilling that destiny. Now, the only thing that stands in his way from an NWA World title match is tonight's opponent, the Wildcat, Chris Harris. Ready to compete at the top level of our sport back in March when he took the champ Jeff Jarrett to the limit. Vince Russo convinced that Harris would have won the title without the interference and Jarrett's guitar shot. The decision made. Next title defense will be in the steel cage. We've been on the road to that cage, but we've reached the end of that road. Now let's see, who will it be that climbs into the cage next Wednesday with Jarrett? Will it be Raven, or will it be this man, the Wildcat Chris Harris, the challenge for the NWA gold?
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall and is your main event of the evening as Total Nonstop Action Wrestling presents the final step on the road to the steel cage. Introducing, first of all, in the corner to my right, he weighs in at 275 45 pounds from the Bowery, this is Raven.
And there you see maybe the most interested observer in the asylum, the world's champ Jarrett, who knows that one of these two men challenge for the title in the cage next Wednesday night.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing, weighing in at 244 pounds, from Fort Wright, Kentucky, this is the Wildcat, Chris Harris.
Gone the weeks of build, the months of anticipation and waiting to see who's going to get the title shot against Jeff Jarrett finally over as this matchup has arrived. And to me, the biggest story in this matchup, as we see Jarrett, of course, not wanting to miss 1 second of this match, has to be what I'm presuming to be that injured arm, injured shoulder of Chris Harris. Suffered earlier tonight the attack by Raven. And you see already, after just unleashing one blow, favoring the arm. I mean, what's his whole offense based around, or so much of it?
Well, he's a southpaw, and he uses that to his advantage. But you know what I like about it? He decided to test it right from the start. He had to know, and he could see the pain that it caused. So right now, that's a good move. Do it early. In his mind right now, he's got to be changing his strategy right now. He's in the ring. He can't dispose.
But Don, is it a good move? Because at the same time, when he tests his arm, he also shows Raven that his arm is not at 100% strength. And you know Raven. You know his background. You know what he's all about.
Oh, yeah.
You know that Raven is going to try and work on that already weakened arm and shoulder. So at the same time that it takes away much of Chris Harris's offense, put the shoulder in, and then immediately favoring him. The minute that he made contact with Raven, you saw that again.
Raven not going to let up for 1 minute as he comes in, and you see the kicks just laying right on the arm. Oh, I'll tell you what, though, he went right at the shoulder. Chris Harris is going to have to know that that's going to be Raven's focal point, as you see right there.
Look at this, and using the wrap that Harris has around the shoulder to choke him.
He needs to just go ahead and get the wrap off. Just get it off. And somehow suck it up and just deal with the pain, because he's going to be in it. And look at Raven, not even wasting a second.
Drops down with the knee. Offense totally directed at the shoulder, the left shoulder of Chris Harris.
At this point, I almost wish that Vince Russo would have postponed it. I know the crowd, though, would have went nuts, and he had to factor that into the decision. They came here to see this match, and
I mean, we even saw AJ Styles get in Russo's face and tell Russo to give him the match tonight, but Harris would have nothing to do with that. Harris insisted.
Look at that, though. Chris Harris does the turnabout right there. Absolutely, but he did it.
He just purpled in the face. I mean, Don, it's one thing to unleash an offensive move, but as soon as you unleash that move, when you just go down in a heap like that.
Oh, look at right there. You see Raven just grinding right on the shoulder, not wasting 1 second of time. Every moment he has, he uses it for that. Throwing him on the shoulder.
Think of what Raven did earlier tonight. Harris coming out at the end of that Storm Jarrett matchup. The chairs where he sandwiched the shoulder and then applying that cross-face chicken wing type submission move. Further weakening Harris, who tries to fight back, just a desperation move.
I'll tell you what, this guy's got so much fight, and he's going to give it everything he's got. He took advantage, and now, I mean, look at this. He's just going to rip that thing off.
Raven favoring the knee as he drops down to the floor, and we made the call earlier. Right, you're right. It's a problem for him at this point. Just get that wrap off.
Absolutely. Raven will use it to his advantage and hang him with it. You know how Raven is, and that's what he's got to do. But every time he does it, Mike, you can just see the damage it's causing.
Raven was favoring the knee, and you saw Harris initially clip him and then take the leg of Raven and drive it against the ring entrance ramp.
I'll tell you what, Chris Harris is going to have to figure out a way to become a right-handed person here real quick, but he's got to do the same thing. He's got to find something like the knee right there. That's it. The knee of Raven, and use it to his advantage. Why not? He's done it.
Tripped him, took him out, drops down with his weight across the leg and knee of Raven. But certainly evened up this match in a hurry, didn't it?
It sure did. Oh, but look at how Raven's pulling on it. Oh, man, this is going to be a different kind of match. You can see it already.
Cross arm breaker. The cross arm bar applied.
I'll tell you what, buddy. Chris Harris better be careful. He's in danger of being pinned right here.
Look at the pressure that's applied. not just on the shoulder, but also on the elbow of Chris Harris at this point. And Chris Harris, not sure how familiar he is with a counter to this move.
Oh, look at him going over the ropes, and he gets his foot on it.
Probably
Good
the
move.
safest move. Just get to the ring ropes and get the break.
Absolutely good move. Oh, look at there. Raven can't put the weight on it right yet.
You're right. Raven just dropped down and still favoring the knee that was injured just minutes ago by Harris.
Well, I'll tell you what. That's how you do it, and he goes right at it now. It's like feet against arms.
The two wounded warriors battling for a shot at Jeff Jarrett in the cage next Wednesday for the title. Who's going to survive this match? As Harris again takes the leg of Raven and now wraps it around the steel ring cable. Wow. Oh, and again, totally directing his offense on that knee.
I'll tell you something that I'm thinking about, though, Mike, is next week, whoever wins this match, are they going to be in any condition to get in that steel cage? Jeff Jarrett's got to be loving this.
Raven slowly making his way across the ring, but as soon as he arrives at Chris Harris, he immediately goes to work on the left arm.
Oh, Chris Harris, I've never seen him in pain like this. You could see it in his face.
Wait, Don, let's think about it. Let's look ahead to next week. I mean, we know Raven's style is a perfect fit for the steel cage as we see him go for the knee, try and roll him up and get a 2 count. I mean, who better to deal with that kind of pain? Who better to deal with the brutality of a steel cage match than someone like Raven?
What about Wildcat Chris Harris? The greatest match we've seen in TNA history was in the steel cage, and it was Wildcat winning, coming off the top of that cage. Unbelievable, Mike. I think when you look at it, Chris Harris has got to have the confidence of going into that
You're
cage.
talking about that cage match several months ago involving America's Most Wanted in Triple X, as we see Harris trying to just fight through the pain as he unleashes each blow. You can see that pain registering on his face. Oh.
Caught him right on the rail.
Crotched him, dropped him across the steel safety rail.
I'll tell you what, one of the ladies there in the front row took a shot at Raven while she had a chance. Oh, look at Raven now. I think it's even out here, Mike.
I was just going to say, Don, the complexion of this matchup, which looked in the early going like it was going to be totally dominated by Raven, has now evolved into a situation where both men are battling for survival. And you see a perfect example of that as Raven doing anything he can. Desperation moves with the kicks, but it turns the match in his tide. And now Raven takes here. What to put him face first into the broadcast. Oh!
Wildcat Chris Harris just leveled Raven.
Raven rolls back into the ring, I think, to avoid further punishment out here. Check this out. 3 live crew, including Ron the Truth Killings. Of course, Killings was a part of that final 4-way.
You know he's interested in
saw
this
the
match.
motion that he made, motioning with the championship belt. You know he's interested in this NWA World's Heavyweight Title Top Contenders match. As Harris went to shoot Raven into the corner, and he went down in a heap.
And here goes Wildcat high, and Raven, injured leg and all, comes running over as best he can to stop him. He knew that was a chance that Wildcat could end it.
Going to try and suplex Harris back into the ring. Harris blocks him twice, and then answers and counters with a front suplex of his own.
And he's still up top. Oh, but look at that. Raven gets just out of the way in time. The psychology of this match is unbelievable, Mike.
The high risk was high cost that time. Harris did not connect off the top rope, and that enables Raven to try and regroup if he can. Harris and Raven both down. Referee Rudy Charles puts in the count.
This shows you what this belt means to these two. They will go through anything, all costs, any harm to their body. They don't care. They're putting it all on the line for a chance to meet Jeff Jarrett next week in the steel cage.
You're talking about 50-plus years, Don, of history. 50-plus years of tradition behind that NWA World's Heavyweight Championship belt that has been worn by the elite in our sport. And, well, there's a former NWA champion who's also very interested in AJ Styles.
Oh, he wanted to be out there. He begged Vince Russo to put him out there. Told Vince Russo he'd pretty much bury the hedge if he'd put him out there. But Vince Russo wouldn't do it. He stood by Wildcat Chris Harris. Vince Russo wants Wildcat Chris Harris to win this match to win next week so bad.
Raven sends Harris out to the floor on the opposite side of the ring, near the entrance ramp. Grabs Harris by the hair. directing him around the ring. And
back into the rail.
Russian leg sweep delivered with authority. Back first, and again, shoulder first, as we see the Truth, Conan, BG James, the crew looking on.
Raven feels that it's his destiny next week to meet Jeff Jarrett in the cage. His destiny. It's almost been a year to this day when they meet in Lowe's, an exact year when Raven was in the title match with Jeff Jarrett. I mean, how? Think about it. How ironic is that?
A win tonight puts him into the steel cage, puts him into the world's title matchup next Wednesday night. Now Raven takes Harris. Trying the whole length, Don. The whole length of the ring outside. And again, shoulder first into the steel.
Like I said earlier, the psychology of this match is unlike anything we would have expected from the beginning. It just totally broke down when Raven worked on the arm. And look at it, he's working on it again.
Importance of this matchup is obviously illustrated by so many of the wrestlers in the back, around the ring area, around the asylum that are watching this match as Raven.
Oh, look at the pain.
He's wrapping that injured arm and shoulder around the steel ring post.
I'll tell you what, we've always been fond of the Wildcat. He's gone through some unbelievable wars in TNA, but he's in a real one right now. There are casualties in this match. As Raven right now, like you said, this is something that he knows he's built for in that cage.
Now Raven going to try and put Harris away. Brings him back into the ring. And again, working on the arm. And again, you see AJ Styles in the locker room area, not missing a second of this match as well. And you know Jarrett watching very closely in anticipation also to find out who his opponent is going to be.
Well, AJ Styles could have very easily been in this match. He was distracted by Vince Russo last week. That's why he's still not able to pull out the olive branch.
Check this out. We saw this earlier. He's got the arm and shoulder almost hammerlocked. He's got the cross-face chicken wing.
He's got it turned around!
And he did! He actually rolled out in reverse, but Raven desperately fighting with knees to the top of the head.
Unbelievable how Raven always knows what to do and when to do it. But again, Wildcat, look at this. He's got a hold of him.
And Raven has the perfect counter. Gets up to his feet, drops down, and blocks the hold.
Oh, man, these guys have got to be wondering, how long is this going to go? And Raven doesn't miss a beat.
He's going to go back to it again.
He's got the arm. Here he goes.
You know, he's told me about this move on several occasions. He's told me that he learned it from Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund used that same submission move, this cross-face chicken wing, to defeat Bret Hart for the WWF title several years ago. And he's using it now is Raven. Wait a minute.
Oh, here comes James Storm.
You can see James Storm, a little worse for wear after the battle with Jarrett earlier tonight.
Well, you saw what happened to his leg at the beginning of the show, and he's out here giving everything.
It's moral support is what it is.
Cheering his guy on as Chris Harris grabs the ropes, and that was the support he needed.
And Jeff Jarrett now coming out up on the ring entrance ramp.
And he's got a guitar with him and the belt.
Jarrett wants to witness this thing not in the back on the monitor. He wants to see it personally from the ring entrance area as we see Raven just daring Harris to try and get up and hit him with a left. And he does, and it rocks him. But how many of those does Harris have left?
That's right. Absolutely. And every time he does it, the pain jolts through his arm. And it's just got to be psychologically damaging to know that, man, your best move, your best feature, you don't have it full capacity.
Look at him. Look at him. He's fighting through the pain.
Look at this. He knows what's at stake, Mike. He knows, and there he goes.
He realizes, Don, this may be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He's got to pull out all the stops here against Raven to get the title shot. Snapped up the power slam.
No! Thought he had it. As Jeff Jarrett looks on, he thought it was almost over.
What an incredibly gutsy and courageous performance by the Wildcat Chris Harris, fighting through the shoulder injury. Raven charges in with a knee and going to try a bulldog, but it's reversed. This jam by Harris.
He's got it.
Here's one, two.
No! Raven just has got too much in. He's not ready to give up on his destiny just yet.
It really has boiled down to survival between these two warriors. Harris charges in. Raven catches him with the knee. Harris with a variation of the spear.
But if he's putting Storm out, why is he putting Jeff Jarrett out?
Wait a minute. Sabu's in here. But he's Jeff Jarrett's not at the ringside area, Don. Jeff Jarrett's up on the ring. Sabu and Storm fighting out.
Well, obviously Sabu did have Raven's
That's
back.
exactly right. We wondered about it earlier, but Sabu had Raven's back, no question about it. And Sabu and Storm battle to the crowd, and look at this now. Action back in the ring. Wait a minute, Raven.
Oh, no. He's going to set him up right here.
Steel chair position in the middle of the ring. Drop toe hold.
Oh, wait a minute. Chris Harris was ready for it.
Took the steel chair.
Caught him with the chair.
Here comes Rudy. Here's one. Here's two.
No!
Just that close. Just that close to the title shot.
Oh, you see Raven setting the chair up.
Wedging the steel chair. Jarrett looking on. Harris corner mount. There's not much left in those left hands, though.
You can see it. It's not. It might be just enough, but he just doesn't have enough in the tank, and he knows the harder he hits, the more it hurts.
Telegraph the back body, dropping it.
Oh, he's got it.
Face press and series of left hands. Both men back up to their feet. Harris charges.
Oh, Raven just set him up like he does so well. His experience.
He went shoulder first into the chair.
That's it. Two. No, he got out of it.
Almost as if to see the look on Jarrett's face. He had to be impressed with Chris Harris' resiliency to kick out at two.
Oh, look at this though. Raven again working the arm.
Back to that cross-face chicken wing.
A referee
Rudy Charles down. There's the spear.
He's got him with the spear. Here it is. He's got him pinned.
With the cover, but there's no referee to count.
Oh, Rudy Charles is knocked out. He's got to get up right here.
Referee's down.
Chris Harris can't believe it.
Harris had him beat, Don.
Oh, he had him beat. It was over.
Harris had the title shot with Jarrett. I mean, he hit the spear. The pin was there, but Rudy Charles went, oh, no.
You saw the
blow.
He's got him.
No. Raven effect DDT. No.
Wait a minute. He rolled him up. Two.
Going to the steel cage next week. Wildcat Chris Harris.
Out of nowhere, the roll-up pin for the win, and he gets the title shot as Vince Russo congratulates him in mid-ring.
Against all odds, Mike. He fought through the pain. He took advantage of it. Unbelievable how he did it.
There you see Raven. Obviously, he went for the shortcut here tonight, but his destiny was denied. There's Ron the Truth Killing. You see with 3 live crew. It's almost as if Killings realizes that could have been him. That could have been him in that position. There you see it. The right man did it. He deserves the title shot, and he gets it. He gets it. Chris Harris gets it. There you see Jeff Jarrett, and after what Harris has accomplished, even Jarrett has to realize Chris Harris is ready. Chris Harris is ready next Wednesday. NWA World's Heavyweight title. Jarrett Harris in the steel cage.